This is music production like you have never seen it before. The truth is that many of these Hollywood produced documentaries are designed to put you in awe of the artist that you are watching. What they want is to portray the artist that you are admiring as a creative genius. In other words, it's really more a marketing piece than it is an actual documentary. This documentary, though, strips away all that glamour and actually shows you what it actually takes to create a track. It reveals that it's actually really messy, unstructured, and oftentimes it looks foolish. So, in the next 15 minutes, we're going to review the Cortis's documentary as they invite us into that very space, the workshop of creativity where failure and persistence are as important as talent. The actual process of making music. Most music documentaries are polished spectacles. A few well cut studio scenes, some sound bites from producers, and plenty of talk about genius make the act of songwriting look effortless. Cordy's documentary, What You Want, takes a completely different approach. It strips away the polish and shows music for what it really is: trial and error, false starts, uncomfortable silences, and the long, frustrating journey from an idea to a song. The film doesn't romanticize the process. Instead, it presents creation as it is, sometimes chaotic, sometimes exhilarating, but more often it's painful. For a young group like Cordis, that honesty feels vital. They have the raw talent to jam with seasoned musicians, but they're still learning how to shape that talent into structured, lasting art. Watching them stumble, regroup, and try again makes the documentary less of a portrait of perfection and more of a study in becoming. But it could also be a little dangerous, especially with the legacy of Big Hit. Being marketed as a self produced group and then having people watch you fail, get lost, and even break down. They are opening themselves up to a lot of criticisms. The beauty of process. Where most films fast forward to finished products, this one lingers in the mess. We see tracks begin as half formed ideas, a beat, a word, a stray melody hummed in frustration. We watch them collapse entirely, only to be rebuilt from scratch. And the effect is very revealing. It reminds us that art doesn't usually arrive as divine inspiration. It crawls through repetition, doubt, and endless revision. By showing this, the film dismantles the myth of effortless genius. Instead, it validates the messy middle, the part fans rarely get to see, the part where they struggle, the part where they can tangibly compare their actual skills versus the ones that are more experienced. The part where they aren't idols. They're just musicians, artists, trying to find their own identity. Supreme Boy and a Defining Lesson. The documentary's standout moment comes courtesy of Supreme Boy, the veteran producer who was with BTS long before their world tours. After Martin, Cortis's leader, finishes a surreal session with Juicy J, an admired group by Martin, Supreme Boy grounds him. He reminds Martin to be present, to absorb the moment fully so he can draw on it later, not just as a memory, but as artistic fuel. It's really a small exchange, but a profound one. Supreme Boy understands that art is made not only of notes and lyrics, but of lived experience captured in its rawest form. Integrity made visible. One of the documentary's quiet achievements is the way it makes artistic labor visible. Every contribution, whether a bass line, lyric tweak, or top line melody, is captured on camera. No one can dismiss Cordis as a passenger in their own music. Unlike many idol groups handed completed tracks, Cortis's fingerprints are on every song. That transparency is more than good PR. It's the foundation of artistic credibility. And in the K pop world, where haters are just as devoted as your fans to find the fault in you, to invalidate your skill or your success, a tangible record like this is valuable. It leaves no room for doubt, no room for questions. Art in the age of AI. The timing of this documentary feels prescient. As AI churns out convincing music faster than humans ever could, the distinction between art and product is narrowing. Cortis's documentary responds to that future by foregrounding intention. What sets these songs apart is not just the melody or structure, but the messy human process behind them. Soon, younger listeners, Gen Z and Gen Alpha, who grow up with AI composed hits, will simply get used to listening to tracks or watching movies that are completely made by AI. And virtually the only way they can differentiate between what was made by humans and what was made by AI is the process, the intention, and the humans behind it. It's humanity that will determine whether something is a product or art. By documenting its own making, Cortis stakes a claim for authenticity in a landscape where authenticity will become increasingly rare. Finding their essence. During their second US song camp, Cortis spends weeks trying to create a title track, and they come up empty. What they don't realize, as Hybe's A&R quietly observes, is that they're discovering something more important. Through their frustration, their failures, and doubts, they're actually finding their essence as a group. The frustration and the exhaustion and the determination that follows slowly weld them together, not as trainees, not even as idols, but as a band. And that is actually more important to achieve in that moment than a title track. The breakthrough comes almost accidentally. Pushed to the edge of defeat, Martin begins to write something without overthinking. Words stumble out, and for the first time, he sees clearly what he wants to say. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes thought follows action, not the other way around. Timeless simplicity. The result is what you want, their eventual lead single. And as expected, critics, aka haters, may dismiss the message. Pursue what you want unapologetically as simplistic. But given that Cordis's members are 16 to 19, the authenticity is actually undeniable. At that age, ambition is raw and unfiltered. That is what they know, and that is what they wrote down. But in truth, the sentiment is actually timeless. Adults often lose the courage to chase what they want. This track reclaims it with a clarity only youth can deliver. Go for what you want. I can definitely see this track 10, 15 years down the road after they experience the peak of their success. They can go back to this track, remix it, and still find it just as relevant as they did when they first wrote it. Collaboration and inadequacy. Hybe's global network gives the group access to some of the world's top producers. A priceless advantage, no doubt, but privilege doesn't equal guarantee. In these sessions, no one will hand them polished songs. They must prove their worth, contribute meaningfully, and earn their place. What's striking is how quickly they recognize their own inadequacy. Rather than blaming circumstances or other people, they own the fact that they are still developing. Everyone that they have worked with have already proven their worth. It is them that's lacking. And that humility, paired with drive, may be their greatest strength. The sobering end. The film builds towards triumph. Cordis finds their lead single, the missing piece needed for debut. But instead of ending with victory, it cuts to an intimate dinner where Martin asks, "When are we debuting? Does anyone even know?" And the answer, delivered by James, who already endured one failed debut, is sobering. They'll know when they know. Until then, they must keep running toward an unseen finish line. And it's an ending that refuses the easy payoff. Instead, it reframes the story. This isn't about a single debut, but about the longer universal truth of striving. All of us are running towards futures we can't see. And the work, the grind, the uncertainty is the whole point. Cortis's documentary, What You Want, refuses to glamorize the creative process. By showing the false starts and frustrations and breakthroughs, it honors them. It captures not the illusion of genius, but the reality of growth. For fans, it offers proof of Cortis's integrity. For skeptics, it's evidence that their artistry isn't manufactured, but fought for. And for the industry at large, it's a reminder that in the age of AI, what truly matters is not just the song itself, but the messy, human act of making it. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. I just thought I've always mentioned that Twice is my favorite girl group, but I don't talk about them a lot. So I think that has to change, huh? And also because of the achievements and the thing that they have been, the growth that they have gone through, they do deserve to be talked about and get introduced to a wider audience in the North American market. All right. If you have contributions, there's something that you want to add, let me know. You can always leave them in the comment section below. Just please do so. You can say whatever it is that you want to say. Just please do so respectfully. Also, um, please consider donating to the channel. You should be seeing the QR code right now on your screen. We are expanding it. So everything that you see on YouTube, it will also be in the website. So it'll be good if you can hype them, read them, go to the website. It's still on the soft launch stage, but I'm trying to do my best and move as fast as I can to do a grand launch. Also, please follow me on X, IG, and most importantly on Patreon. That's where the community is. We're trying to grow it. We're opening new conversations. And also, but we do have a free tier just in case you want to test it. I also open my YouTube membership. I do once a week live stream just for the members. That never goes public. So please consider subscribing there as well. Okay. If you can, please like the video, subscribe, and hit that notification button. But the most important thing, the one that will really help the channel, is if you can actually share the content or the channel itself to your friends, to your social media followers, to your family members. Just just send it, share it. That will help us or help the algorithm discover us and recommend us more. Thank you. I appreciate you all.